My wife served me divorce papers over breakfast and disappeared. Months after taking the settlement, she came back broke, desperate, and begging at my door. Hello Reddit I plus here. My name is Adrian Hayes. I'm 39 years old, and this story has been sitting heavy on my chest for almost a year now. If you're reading this, grab a drink, because it's not short. For a long time I thought I hit the jackpot with my wife Vanessa, 37. We'd been together for 5 years, married for almost 2. The kind of couple people envied, always smiling, planning trips, inside jokes that made no sense to anyone else. She'd write me little notes and leave them in my work bag. She remembered every anniversary, even silly ones like the first time we ordered Chinese takeout together. I'd come home late from my finance job, tired, and she'd have dinner waiting, lasagna, homemade curry, all the good stuff. Everyone said we were relationship goals. We argued, sure, but never about big things. Socks on the floor, who forgot to take out the trash, just normal married life. At least, that's what I thought. About a year into the marriage, Vanessa changed. It started small. Suddenly she was obsessed with our finances. Not in the, let's save for a house kind of way. No, she wanted to know everything. My 401k, my grandfather's inheritance, my investments before we met. She'd never cared before. In fact, she always used to say, I don't understand numbers. You handle it. Now she was logging into our online banking 3-4 times a day. I remember one dinner when she casually asked, so, if something happened to you, who would your 401k go to? I set down my fork. Why are you suddenly interested in this, Ness? She poked at her pasta. Just curious. We're married, I should know these things. Her voice was flat. My gut twisted. Then came the late-night phone calls. Work stuff, she'd say. Or, an old friend. But she never used to hide in another room for phone calls. The late nights at work increased too. Once a month became 3 times a week. But there were no restaurant charges on her card. Something wasn't adding up. I work in finance. I've seen too many people blindsided because they trusted the wrong person. So while Vanessa was asking about early withdrawal penalties on investments and casually bringing up divorce settlements in random conversations, I started protecting myself. Opened a private account at a different bank, moved my inheritance, about $60,000, into it, photographed everything valuable in the house, documented all gifts exchanged between us. I felt like a paranoid fool sneaking around with spreadsheets, but my instincts screamed something was coming. It wasn't dramatic. No big fight. No warning. Just Tuesday. I was sipping coffee at the kitchen counter when Vanessa slid a manila envelope across to me. I want a divorce, she said. Calm. Robotic. The envelope was already filled out. She'd been planning this. I looked at her blankly, then opened it. Divorce papers. And my first thought wasn't even about losing my wife. It was, thank God I moved that inheritance. She gave me a rehearsed breakup speech about falling out of love and people growing apart. I let her finish, then said one word. Okay, she blinked. That's it? You're not going to fight for this? I shrugged. No point fighting for someone who doesn't want to stay. That flicker of panic in her eyes, that told me everything. We finalized the divorce in record time. She got her share of the joint savings. I kept the house. 2 weeks later, she was gone. Quit her job without notice. Deleted her social media. Blocked all her friends, even her family. Closed her bank accounts and walked out with cashier's checks. Vanished like smoke. Her best friend called me in tears, asking if I knew where she was. Her old boss even rang me, confused. I told them the truth. I had no idea. Honestly, I tried not to care. 5 months later, I was finally breathing again. Promotion at work, hitting the gym. And I met someone new, Lena, 32, a pediatric nurse. She's the opposite of Vanessa. Cheerful, goofy, always humming Disney songs while she bakes cookies. We met when she spilled a smoothie on me at a cafe. Total rom-com moment. She apologized 50 times, I asked her out, and we've been inseparable since. For the first time in years, I felt happy again. Until, it was a Thursday night. Lena and I were baking cookies, laughing at some silly baking show on Netflix, when there was a knock at the door. I opened it, and nearly dropped the tray I was holding. Vanessa. She looked rough. Skinny, dark circles, hair a mess. The first thing out of her mouth? Whose car is that in the driveway? I stared at her. My girlfriend's. Her eyes went wide, then furious. You moved on already? Wow, Adrian. Guess I meant nothing to you. Behind me, Lena peeked around the corner, smiling politely. Hi, she chirped. Vanessa looked her up and down, then sneered. Really? This is your type now? Some cookie baking nurse? That was it. You don't get to insult her, I snapped. You left me, remember? But she wasn't done. She switched gears instantly. Where's the jewelry I gave you? The gifts? I want them back, or the money. I told her the truth. I'd sold most of it after the divorce, donated the rest. She exploded, called me selfish, a thief, heartless. I shut the door in her face mid-rant. Lena handed me a warm cookie. So, that was interesting. God, I love her. 3 days later, I got a call from an old friend. Vanessa's brother, Mark. We used to be close, but he ghosted me after the divorce. Now suddenly he's on the phone, guilt-tripping me. Adrian, she's in a bad place. You need to help her out. She was your wife for 5 years. You owe her, I laughed. She served me divorce papers over breakfast and disappeared for half a year. I don't owe her a damn thing, he kept pressing. But whenever I asked why she needed money so badly, he dodged. Wouldn't give me a straight answer. That told me everything I needed to know. A week later, at 4 a.m., I got a text from Vanessa. Please, I need to see you. I'll tell you everything, the whole truth this time. Just one last meeting. I almost ignored it. But Lena, wise as ever, said, Babe, maybe you need closure. Hear her out, then shut the door for good. And she was right. We agreed to meet in a neutral place, a quiet diner on the edge of town. I got there early, ordered black coffee, and sat by the window where I could see her coming. When Vanessa finally walked in, she looked even worse than the last time. Hollow cheeks, nervous hands tugging at her sleeves. She slid into the booth without saying hi, just stared at the steaming coffee in front of me. Thanks for coming, she muttered. I leaned back. You said you wanted to tell me the truth, so tell me. She fidgeted for a long minute, then finally whispered, I didn't just leave because I was unhappy. I was in debt. Bad debt. Credit cards, payday loans, and some of it wasn't exactly from banks. I frowned. What do you mean? Her voice cracked. I owed money to some people you don't want to owe money to. It started before we got married. I thought I could handle it. But it snowballed. By the time I filed for divorce, it was over $90,000. I sat there, stunned. So you were asking about my inheritance, my 401k, because you wanted to use it to pay them off. She didn't deny it, just buried her face in her hands. I thought, if I divorced you quick and took a settlement, I could make it disappear. But it wasn't enough. They kept coming. I quit my job and ran. There it was. The truth, or at least her version of it. I let out a slow breath. So why are you here now? Her eyes filled with tears. Because they found me again. Adrian, I need help. Please, just a loan. You're doing so well, you've moved on, you're happy. I'm drowning. I stared at her. For a moment, a part of me, the part that once loved her, wanted to reach across the table to fix it all. But then I remembered the way she'd slid divorce papers across the counter like it was a restaurant bill. The way she vanished without a word. The way she sneered at Lena. I shook my head. I'm not your safety net. You made your choices. Her tears turned sharp, bitter. So that's it? After everything we had, you're just going to let me sink? I stood up, tossing a few bills on the table for my coffee. You already sank the moment you chose money over us. I'm not throwing myself in after you. She grabbed my wrist, desperate. Adrian, please. They'll come after me. I pulled free. Then you should have thought about that before dragging me into your mess. Goodbye, Vanessa. And I walked out, leaving her shaking in the booth. That night, Lena listened quietly as I told her everything. When I finished, she just took my hand and said, You did the right thing. You saved yourself. For the first time in a year, I felt truly free. Vanessa's story, whether it was the whole truth or not, wasn't mine to carry anymore. My chapter with her was over.